Hi, my name is Morgan Tetzloff, and I'm going to be discussing the issues of sexual harassment at ForgeRx. So, my first job in high school was actually at ForgeRx. I had never had a job before, and so I thought, what's a better place to work than the gym? Because I love going to the gym. I was already always there. I just really enjoyed the atmosphere and everything about the gym, and it was really close to my house, and it just seemed like the perfect job. Well, once I got into it and I kind of met everyone and I saw how everything was, I kind of realized that there was a lot of harassment that went on, and I guess it wasn't ever brought to light or ever solved, and I still don't believe that it's solved after I've been gone for around a year. So I went to my boss and I complained to him, and I said there's certain things being said to me by customers, by employees, and nothing was ever done about it. So that's why I thought I would discuss on what solutions you can take to prevent sexual harassment at the workplace, and if not prevent, improve. So to begin, I do think I would like to touch on like what sexual harassment does to someone. I think it needs to be addressed and handled properly, and the results are creating a toxic environment. No matter how hard people try, if there's something hard going on for an employee, it's going to create a uncomfortable environment, and people aren't really going to be able to respond well to that, even if they aren't the harasser. This does affect the customers and the employees, and it happens in most workplaces. I never thought it would happen in a gym. I thought, oh, this only happens in the movie. This only happens in, big firms. No, it definitely happens in smaller places. So the three solutions I decided to talk about are the training and educational setting, grievance procedures, and upholding consequences for the sexual harassment complaints that are made. I think these three kind of all touch on every base that you could fix when it comes to sexual harassment. So the first solution for the problem is training in an educational setting. This helps employees realize the severity of sexual harassment and what it does to someone, and people learn better by simulation and examples. I think it's really important to realize that if you are going to want people to learn, they need to be in an environment where they've learned their whole life. People learn better by examples, and therefore in an educational setting you can do the examples, you can have simulations, and our whole life we've been to school, and I think that learning in an educational setting is what our brains are used to, so that might be really helpful. And I also think that if you bite the bullet and just start in the beginning and you set boundaries and you set all these rules and just procedures, then you'll be way better off in the long run. The second solution is the grievance procedures, and this helps moderate the relationship between the sexual harassment supervisors and other variables. I think grievance procedures are important because this helps bring confidence when coming forward for people. When I had to come forward, it was very tough. It was very hard because I felt like I was going to be laughed at. People weren't going to take me seriously, and I think it was just a really hard step. And I'm already being harassed. It shouldn't be hard for me to go to my boss and say, "Help me, please." This establishes clear policies about what sexual harassment is and how it will be handled if reported. I think that it's really good to let people know that, okay, if I get complaints, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to go down. This is how you're going to, this is how it's going to be handled. And I think it's just really important, especially on a really tough topic of grievance procedures. Solution 3 is holding consequences for the sexual harassment complaints. I think that a lot of the times it'll be brought up and then nothing ever happens after that. And I think that's really important to realize that if someone's coming to you and complaining, they need to realize that they matter, and someone will go and help and prevent this from happening again. I think increasing the punishment for the harassers is very important. This helps establish that we take this stuff seriously, and therefore people will see that and be like, okay, well, I'm not even gonna be caught dead doing that. This helps instill fear. I think fear is the biggest factor. I think that if you are scared of getting in trouble, you won't do certain things. So overall, I think the most effective solution would be creating a strong training program. Like I stated, I think that if you in the beginning take a little bit of time and you just go over procedures with people, you train them how to handle sexual harassment, you train them how the company wants them to be trained, and you tell them your company policies on it, I think it'll be more pressed into their head, and they will understand how severe it is, and you kind of want to establish this like feeling around sexual harassment. It's very disgusting. It's not something you want to deal with, and it's something that you should kind of push away from your company, and something that you should talk about, but at the same time not ignore. Some of the cons might be that people are going to say, oh, this takes up too much time. I mean, it doesn't have to take too much time. You can get this done in like probably maybe a day and a half or day. Like it just needs to be taken seriously. And if it's taken seriously, it'll be so much faster than it could be planned out to be. And I think that people and businesses will realize that. So overall, I had 3 solutions: training and educational setting, grievance procedures, and upholding consequences for the harasser. And I think all 3 of them are really important, but overall, if you begin with a good, solid training program, it'll help people understand what sexual harassment is, and overall just create a better work environment for everyone.